Hey, good morning, guys. It is time to get started with the Stoidum, the show that's on in the morning here in St. Johns County, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. And first thing we have to do is we got to tell you what's coming up. We have... I'm sorry, I choked on my own saliva there. Hard to be cool when that happens. We have St. Johns County Board of County Commissioner Chair and also a pretty good barbecue man, Clay Murphy, joining us in studio. We'll get to that and more. But first, we got to tell you about the wonderful people at Bozard Ford. Amen. Since 1949, Bozard Ford Lincoln has been more than just a dealership. It's been St. Augustine's tradition, a St. Augustine tradition built on trust, family values, and doing things the right way. For 75 years, generations of drivers have relied on Bozard for quality vehicles and honest service. With over 1,200 vehicles to choose from, no surprise pricing, and their drive happy guarantee, Bozard makes buying truly effortless. That's the Bozard difference. Their award-winning state-of-the-art facility features 91 climate control service bays, a quick lane for no appointment maintenance, and even Ford's Garage restaurant right there on site. Recognized with the prestigious Triple Crown Award and President's Award, Bozard Ford Lincoln delivers hometown service with national-level excellence. You'll find friendly faces, great pricing, and a better buying experience right there off I-95 and State Road 16. Bozard Ford Lincoln, where they are driven to inspire. We also have other great sponsors that we got to give a shout out to: Fidus Roofing, Old Town Trolley, Ben 39 Wine Bar, B&S Signs, Chris Lucero Bail Bonds, St. Augustine Handy House, and of course, last but definitely not least, Sonny's Barbecue.
There you go.
There you go.
Hey, let me just throw a shout out for Bozard. I've had my last two trucks come from Bozard Ford. Mm-hmm. This last truck I bought, I was leaving there going, I think I got something over on them. I think I got a really, really good deal. And they were probably watching me drive off going,
well, that's the way it's supposed to be.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
I felt good about my experience. I was treated well. I felt like I got a great deal, and that's really what's matter.
No, that's it. That's it. It's
great people, great service.
You
too.
Drive away feeling good about it. They want you to feel good. They want to feel good about it, and they do it better than anybody around for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Blake, how you doing back there, man?
I am doing well back here in the booth right now. Just getting some final details done here real quick.
So, all right, it is time for the question of the day. And the question of the day, talking about Bozard Ford, which I know it's not going to be the last two vehicles you had, but question of the day, tell me about your worst vehicle you've ever owned. Now, you're a Plaquemine boy. I'm a DeLand boy.
Yep.
So we are the kings of the POSs.
Yes.
Growing up.
Yes.
So, your worst vehicle you've ever owned?
Well, that's a tough one because I've really been really lucky with vehicles. When I say lucky, I
had to go way back.
Yeah, no, way back. I was thinking my very, very first car was a Toyota Tercel.
Oh,
you remember those?
Yeah.
I couldn't afford anything else, and it was during the Carter year, so I paid 18% interest on it. But it was like $3,200 for a brand new car. And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. 4-speed, and with a clutch.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what a clutch is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it was a great car, but it was a little bitty cracker box, and how I didn't get killed. I remember specifically one time, and talking about fate. I'm just got hired by the patrol. I was 22 years old. I'm moving to Miami. I got all my stuff in my little Tercel, and I'm headed south on 995. And I just happened to be in the right lane, and I go over an overpass just south of Daytona. And this guy, you see stuff like this. This guy going the other way in the southbound lane, in the lane next to me, running about 100 goes by. I come over the hill, goes the other way. If I had been in the left lane, me and my little Toyota Tercel would have been.
You would have never made it to Miami.
I'd have never made it to Miami.
You wouldn't have been in this interview.
So then I'm thinking, well, I might need a bigger truck from now on, just in case. So. Yeah. But yeah, the Tercel was
probably the one.
It was a great little car, but
yeah, not for you.
I've been lucky.
That match your character.
No, it didn't. That dually did, and the day I got rid of that dually was a heartbreaking. That was one of those heartbreaking days. But
yeah, So Blake, what about you? You've only owned 3 cars, so I think I know your answer.
Is my answer going to be the Land Rover?
That's what I thought your
Yeah.
answer would be.
It was definitely wrapped well. The air horn, the train horn was fantastic. The megaphone, I probably should have used a bit more when I had it, but it just kept breaking down on us on I-4.
Yeah, it was an older Land Rover. We made it look really cool. We dressed it up and wrapped it like a English bomber from World War II.
Oh, how cool is that?
It was pretty cool. And
If it just ran.
And it had an air horn. It had lights up top. I mean, we could
Cool.
blind people and scare the hell out of them. Possibly not legal.
If you would have done that, you could have. Right?
Yeah, Blake follows the rule. Thank goodness it was
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
at 16 and not me at 16.
Amen, brother.
So,
Amen. There by the grace of God.
yep. All right. So my worst car, believe it or not, it wasn't as an adult. I had some really bad ones early on in life, but my worst car, I decided I was going to move to Orlando and make a lot of money, like in 1994. I don't know if you remember when I moved away for a year. I moved away for a year and came back.
Yep.
And I was like, I still own the house here, so I was like, I need a car that get good gas mileage. Driving to it was Seminole County is where it was at. Driving to Seminole County every day. So I traded in my Bronco 2, which it was time to trade it in, but I traded it in for a Geo Metro, 3-cylinder, absolutely horrible vehicle. I got out on 995 for the first time, and a semi passed me, and it moved me over 2 lanes. I couldn't do anything about it, and I was like, and I literally kept that car, I think, for 3 months before I was able to unload it and be able to afford a different vehicle.
I think there was an old country song about that, about driving that
it was
like that and getting run over by a semi.
It was absolutely horrible. Absolutely the worst car. So let's hear what cars you have in the comments there. But it is time for a quick check of the weather. And in case you didn't know, it's cold. And it's real cold outside. So bundle up, dress appropriately, layer up.
I think it was 23 at my house this morning.
Yeah. Gosh.
It was 25 yesterday, but it was 23 this morning. Or 22.
I think it was actually colder yesterday at our place, but I woke up a little bit later today for some reason. So I don't know. I don't know if the cold made me sleep a little
My wife
longer
had to
or
tell
what.
me to get up and
Yeah.
take your grandson to school.
Yeah, so it's one of those days where it's like better to stay in bed. All right, but that's brought to us that question of the day and quick check of the weather is brought to us by Ben 39. Discover one of St. Augustine's hidden gems. Ben 39, located inside the St. George Inn at the north end of St. George Street, with over 95 boutique wines, including 50 rated 90 points or higher by Robert Parker. Ben 39 is perfect for a date night or unwinding after work. Enjoy wines by the glass or bottle in a peaceful courtyard setting with live music adding to the atmosphere. Open daily 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Just stop by and say, I'll have what Irving's having. Ben 39, your taste to discover. All right, it's time for hit the Blake's traffic report. Blake, what we got out there, man?
Traffic's moving okay. It's moving all right out there today. There still is a little bit of a shadow at mile marker 328, but other than that, everything seems to be moving fine.
Yeah, it looks a little dark on that one, doesn't it?
It definitely does look a little bit dark though, but let me get the read up. And that traffic report is brought to you by Old Town Trolley. Climb aboard Old Town Trolley and explore over 500 years of history in the heart of St. Augustine in the most fun and flexible way possible. This fully narrated 90-minute tour features 22 vegan stops and covers more than 100 points of interest, including the Castillo de San Marcos, Fountain of Youth, and Potter's Wax Museum. Enjoy open air views, all-day hop-on, hop-off access, plus free parking at the Old Jail and Welcome Centers with your purchase of your ticket. And when the sun goes down, experience the city's spooky side with the Ghosts and Gravestones tour. Locals ride free with a full fare guest to the Hometown Pass program. Old Town Trolley, the best way to see St. Augustine, one stop at a time.
All right. Thank you, Blake, for that. And thank you, Old Town Trolley. We do have one news story we're going to do, and then we're going to get into the interview with the chairman. With precious metal prices soaring, St. Augustine bandits attempt coin shop break-in. St. Augustine police are investigating a late-night burglary attempt at a local coin shop after suspects spent hours trying and failing to break into to a safe. The attempt break-in happened around 10:40 Friday night at Silver Dollar City, located in Lewis Point Plaza along US 1. Co-owner Caleb Jared said 2 of the 3 suspects entered the adjoining nail salon by cutting the lock off the rear door with a circular saw. From there, they moved through the business and tried to break through a wall directly behind the coin shop's main safe. The suspects, dressed in dark clothing, appeared to know exactly where the safe was located. They cut through the drywall, but then ran into a reinforced concrete instead of an open wall. Jared said the group tried chiseling and hammering through the concrete before ultimately giving up. After more than 3 hours inside the building, the suspects left the scene before 2 a.m. No items were taken. Surveillance video captured at least 2 suspects, possibly 3, arriving on mopeds, or I guess e-bikes. In one clip, a suspect can be heard warning another about the security camera. Jared believes the surge in precious metal prices may have been the motivator to the attempted burglary. Over the past year, gold prices have climbed sharply and silver values have also increased significantly. He says local coin dealers are now on high alert. Since the break-in, Jared has upgraded the shop's security, including installing a new safe and sound-sensing alarms designed to detect unusual activity. Police continue to investigate the case. All right. Yeah, it sounds like they knew where they were trying to go in this. They, your years
Sounds
in
like
law
it,
enforcement.
Sounds like it would have made a great movie.
Yeah, yeah.
It would have been a comedy, though.
It would have been a comedy. It sounds like the Apple Dumpling Gang.
Yeah.
You know, you remember those guys back in the 70s?
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm just looking at gold and silver prices, and they've pulled back the last couple of days. Both of them have.
yeah, yeah. So fortunately, I stayed in real estate because that's what I knew. I don't know anything about the stock market. I don't know anything about bonds or golds or precious metals. I understood real estate because I could see it and put my hands on it, and that's where I felt the most safe.
I've always been the guy to keep the economy moving. I always buy high and sell low.
Yeah,
So,
that's kind of you.
Which means I'll work to the day I die because I always have to pay for stuff.
Yeah, I tend to do that sometimes in real estate too. So, hey, welcome in.
Thanks.
We have Chairman Clay Murphy from the Board of County Commissioners. I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
You guys got a big week this week, so that's why I wanted to have
Huge
you
week.
in this week.
Huge week. We're really, really excited about what's going on this week. So, one of the things I'm learning, this is my first year as I'm beginning my second year as a commissioner. One of the things I'm learning is that we, as a county, I've learned a lot over the last 14 months, but we as a county, we depend on state and federal funds for our capital improvement projects. If not, then it goes on the backs of our property owners. Our ad valorem tax revenue is 85% of that is dependent upon rooftops, houses. And we're way out of balance with that. Being a bedroom community of Jacksonville has been fine, except for the fact that when you look at the fact that we're probably going to lose, 25 to 50% of our ad valorem tax income over the next year or two, depending on what the legislature does.
How this vote goes.
Yeah, and it's like I'm okay with that. I mean, it is what it is, but for us in St. Johns County specifically, we are so tied to home property taxes. Like you go to Orange County and they've got this huge commercial base that they can lean on.
Yeah, we're only at 13% commercial.
This
and this is
that
what
won't be affected
I've
at all.
been screaming this for, ever since I've had a radio show. So it's over 12 years.
Yeah.
We got to get the commercial up.
We got to get the commercial up running.
And it's ticked up, but
that leads to other challenges.
Yeah.
And it's just like with anything else. Everything is kind of connected. You want to get the commercial up, but when you get the commercial up, you realize that you're changing a lot of what St. Johns County is. This should have been done. A more comprehensive balance should have been done 40 years ago, 30 years ago. We should have been looking at that. Having an airport, a federal highway, a railroad, and a waterway right next to each other. It's woefully underutilized, but you got to be really careful because those are very sensitive areas, and so there's a balance. There's a tightrope you have to walk between economic viability and health over the future, for your kids and grandkids, and the environment. So as a conservative, the root word is conserve. I'm really it's very important to me that we make sure to conserve our natural resources like our silviculture and our farmlands. I mean, we've got some beautiful areas in St. Johns County. Being a pilot, you understand. You fly over this county; it's an absolute beautiful county.
It's
we
beautiful.
really want to try to keep it that way.
Yeah, and you guys, St. John's County Day, it actually begins on Wednesday.
St. John's County Day.
It's Wednesday and Thursday, but the official day is Wednesday, right? Or is it?
No, Thursday the
official day?
5th is the official St. John's County. So we're going to the Capitol. We're going to Tallahassee, and we're going to showcase St. John's County. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is, we send in taxes to the state about $350 million a year in income tax. And we really want to say, look, we need some of that money back for our roads. We can't lay the burden on our rooftop owners, on our property owners. I am one. I've been a property owner for 32 years here in this county. So I understand the challenge that we face with rising property taxes. So we need their help. We need their money. Another thing that someone that I have a lot of respect for brought up to me this week was, we're a county that enjoys city services, and I'm like, what do you mean? Well, when we grew up, if you go to the city, you had all these amenities. You had, police, fire, garbage pickup, all this stuff, but you paid an extra tax for it.
Yeah, it was a little.
We have the ability
uptick,
in this county. Literally, we have city services in the entire county.
Yeah.
You have garbage pickup. We have a fantastic sheriff's department. We have a fire department. The fire rescue here is second to none. To me, second to none in the country. So we've got these kind of amenities countywide, and so the challenge that we have is how do we find that fat? How do we trim that fat? And one of the ways that we do that is that we go to Tallahassee. We say, hey guys, help us out a little bit, and that's what St. Johns County Day is all about: showcasing St. Johns County, how wonderful it is of a place, and how we need their support, we want their support, and how important it is for us.
Well, St. Johns County, and it used to be this way, and I don't know if it still is. St. Johns County was one of 7 counties that gave more than they received back. And I don't know if that's still a thing. Out of 67 counties, there was only 7, and I'm going back 15, 20 years. And I'm assuming that hasn't changed because we've actually gotten healthier financially. So is that still a factor? Or, because getting that money back is very beneficial.
Very beneficial.
For projects like you guys have some major road projects.
Major road projects. We're working on, and I don't want to, I really want to showcase St. Johns County Day, but one of the things that we're doing through all these things is we're going to 16 needs to be 4-lane. It's needed to be 4-lane. It's kind of like I-4. It needed to be 4-lane 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When they 4-laned it by the Outlet Mall, they should have gone all the way out, and they didn't. So that's probably the number one priority. What we've learned organically, 2209, with 9B coming out of Jacksonville, 2209 and 210 interchange is it's a nightmare. I every time I go up there, I'm like, I represent the southeast part of the county, so I don't get to go up there very often. I was telling you this morning that I had to take my grandson to school, and I leave Otis Mason on US 1 South almost to 206 at 7:30, and I'm in your parking lot.
Gamble
Rogers.
Yeah.
And I'm in your parking lot 22 minutes later on the north side of town. So I don't feel it the way people up there do.
Yeah. No.
I have to be empathetic. I have to go up there and get in that traffic and feel what they feel so that I understand how important it is. And that 2209 County Road 210 interchange organically has grown into the biggest headache in the county.
In the afternoon there.
Afternoons is awful.
It's miserable, and I'm sympathetic for them.
And so we're going after appropriations. Rep. Kendall has brought forth about $7 million for that project. Is asking for $7 million from the state. We went to I went to D.C. a couple weeks ago and advocated for build grants for $25 million for that interchange from the Fed. So that was a fun visit. I got up there. We got to visit with Senator Scott, Senator Moody, Rep. Kendall. John Rutherford, Byron Donalds, Randy Fine, and the guy out in the Panhandle used to be our Patronus, Jimmy Patronus.
Yeah.
And we all got letters of support for our build grants. So hopefully we'll get $25 million for that interchange and $25 million for the 16 interchange, which is really, to me, our job as county, as the chair this year, is my job is to go out and try to get the money.
All right. And last year you were brand new when this was coming around, and we had brand new representatives. Both Sam Greco and Kim Kendall were brand new.
Yeah.
Tom Leake had just moved over from the House to the Senate side.
And Judson Sapp was also a freshman.
Sapp, all four of ours, and Sapp is the west side.
Right.
He's got a little section on the west side of
Yeah,
St.
he
John's
goes
County.
all the way to my house.
Yeah.
I got Sapp. I'm in
Sapp.
Sapp's district 20 for the
Yeah.
state.
And I'm Greco. She picked Kim Kendall picks up at 16 and is north.
16 north, yeah.
But we had all freshmen, all new people over there. This year, they got their feet wet a little bit. You got your feet wet a little bit as a commissioner.
Yeah.
What do you think that 1 year experience, the difference from last year's St. Johns County Day to this year for you? I mean, now you have more responsibility as a chairman, but what do you think the difference is in that communication? With
That's
these representatives.
that's a great question. I'm learning not to worry about the why nots. Because I can't control the why nots. We didn't get any money last year, and the reason for that is because there's a whole plethora of reasons.
Yes.
Everybody being freshmen. But to me, the citizens of St. Johns County, that's not good enough for us. We do send a lot of money to the state. We are a contributor to the state budget in huge amounts. $350 million. I think it was 323, 300, somewhere. It's around 340 million in sales tax, and then another 7 or 8 million in gas tax. And so for us, we have these needs. Every dollar we get from the state and the federal government is a dollar we take off of our local taxpayers' backs for these projects. And looking at what's going to happen with property tax, I mean, something's going to happen with property tax. It will affect us a whole lot more than it's going to affect someone else, because we depend so much on property owners for our ad valorem tax revenue. So we're going to take a bigger hit. So we got to get ready. There's a lot of work to do.
All right. Now you were in law enforcement. You have a Sonny's Barbecue. So you've done government, private work, back to government. How do you think that balance has helped you in the position you're at? Because a lot of people, didn't own their own business. You've had to sign you've had to sign the front of checks, so the pain of decisions that happen as a business owner. But you also have had your time in government too, so you kind of have a balance there.
That's a great question.
So how does that balance help you in your decision making? You've been a boss and you've been a soldier, a worker. How does that balance help you get through your day-to-day decisions?
Well, the interesting thing about that is government tends to be, one of my big complaints on the campaign trail. One of the things that I've said throughout my last year is government tends to be like, I'm reminded of that 1950s horror movie, The Blob. How this big blob rolls through, and everything that it rolled over, it absorbed.
Yeah.
And that can be a mindset. It can be a government mindset.
Yeah.
And so one of the things we have to do is we have to break that mindset and realize that, I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and we were talking about, tax rates. We're talking about tax rates, and they're like, well, if you cut the millage rate, well, then you never get that back. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can
okay.
If you can figure it out.
It's okay, because we need to try to find a way to give people some of their money back. Yeah. And if we don't do, what we're learning is that because we didn't do it, and when I say we, even though I've only been in office 14 months, I'm including myself in this, because we didn't do it, the state is going to come and do it for us. And it's bad on so many levels. And I'll tell you what, we talk about autonomy and our ability to make our own decisions about what happens in the county. The state's going to mandate that we cut our property taxes, and then they're going to make us dependent upon them to make up the shortfall.
Well,
And so we go from, we need to cut property taxes too. But wait a minute, we're giving up our sovereignty. And now each year, because this is one thing I know about being in government with the Highway Patrol, is that each year we had to go to the state legislature with their hat in their hand and say, "Would you please fund us?"
Mm-hmm.
And if they were mad at us, we didn't get the money. And many times,
or if we had the wrong representative,
or if the wrong power base was shifted, and somebody got a ticket from a trooper and didn't like them, or whatever. It's all politics. I'm learning how important politics, or how big of a play it has. You've got to establish those relationships. Coming in like a bull in a china shop, the only thing you get is broken china. So we've got to be able to work together.
And I lived through the recession of 2007, 2008 as a director.
Yeah.
And there was a rollback that happened. Right before that, the commissioners, trying to do the right thing, cut the millage. So we then cut the millage, and then the state cut it again on top of us. And it almost crippled us.
Yeah, you lost.
So
those
I'm
2 years, you lost 20% of your ad valorem income.
Yeah.
in those 2 years.
Yeah, I felt every
time.
20%, because I don't know if
it.
you know this, Parks and Rec's kind of the only thing that's below us is libraries. So we're getting the scraps. We're appreciative of the scraps.
Yeah.
You guys took good care of them this year on the bond, but when I was living through that and that rollback hit after we already got hit, it was a gut punch, and it was tough. And we had, at that time we had the number one ranked park system in the state, and we literally took a gut punch at that point.
Oh, trust me, everybody did, and we're going to take another one. Just the question is, we've got to find a way to be as responsible as we can with people's tax dollars, and it's a bigger challenge than I ever imagined. On the campaign trail, it was easy to say, we're going to cut your taxes, and then you get in and you go, well, what service do you want to cut?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well,
I don't want to cut any.
I don't want to cut any services.
Yeah.
Well, you have to cut services if you want to. People say, well, you hire too many people. Okay, so I'm going to fire people.
Yeah.
And it may come to that.
Yeah.
But I think there are ways.
Well, and we were able to. I think we did furloughs at that time. We did a 2 weeks different furloughs. I'm not a fan of furloughs.
I'm not either.
I'm a fan of. There are employees in every department.
Yeah.
That probably shouldn't be working. And that's.
I'm gonna say it this way: there are people that are going to get other jobs, and people that are retiring. And some of those positions can be absorbed. And I think we need to take a hard look at that.
Well, I can tell you this. In government, it's harder to fire someone than it is in private industry. It's much harder. You have to go through.
Europe's learning the hard lesson about making it impossible to fire somebody. Their economies are tanking.
Yeah, and that's a struggle. And the thing is people always say, like, when you get in there, or probably on the campaign trail, I'm going to run it like a business.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way in government. It just doesn't work that way.
Realities.
I state, you call it the blob. I call it government works at glacier speed.
Yeah.
It's moving. You might not see it moving, but it's moving.
Yeah, that line from The Devil Wears Prada, where she says, by all means, move at a glacial pace.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's so frustrating.
I don't think I've ever seen the movie. That's funny. I've never seen the movie.
It's a funny movie.
Yeah.
But it's one of the most frustrating things. I really hoped that I would get a magic wand when I got in office, and I could just poof and things would be fixed. But there is no magic wand. You have to work hard. You have to realize that there's give and take. The things what I realized is that the things that I thought I could give from the campaign trail, I just can't.
Yeah.
There's just,
you got to do your very best and just be you. All right, we got to pay some bills, and then we're going to come right back to you. Blake, can you tell us what's going on with the Gas Buddy gas report, please?
All right, Gas Buddy gas report. Let us know in the comments where you're seeing the best gas prices across St. Johns County. I got the website up right now. Let's go and do this. And so let's start off with the gate on Mizar Road at $2.75. Sunoco at 450 South Ponce is $2.79. Shell at 216 Ponce de Leon is 279. Shell at 146 King is 279. Shell at 2350 North Ponce is 282. Circle K on 207 is 289. Owens at 77 Ponce is 292. The gate on US 1 North is 294. Mobile and Circle K combo is 294. And the Circle K on US 1 is 294. That gas report is brought to you by, I'm sorry for the microphone hit, Chris Lucero Barrel Bonds. When unexpected happens, turn to the name St. Augustine Trust. Chris Lucero Barrel Bonds available 24/7. Their experienced and compassionate team moves fast to help you or your loved one get out of jail and back home. They handle everything from paperwork to release with professionalism, discretion, and zero judgment. When every minute counts, remember the name and the number. Chris Lucero Bail Bonds at 904-822-BAIL. That's 904-822-2245.
All right. It is also time for the live music today, brought to us by visitstaugustine.com. We have Jim Lamb at Milltop Tavern at noon, Muddy Marshall at Ben 39 at 1, Joshua Tennessee Worthy at Milltop at 4:30, Kevin Edwards at Hurricanes Grill and Wings at 5, and Stu Weaver at Harry's at 6. And that music report's brought to us by Fidus Roofing. When it comes to protecting your home or property, trust Fidus Roofing and Construction. Voted best of St. Augustine every year since 2012. Specializing in residential and multifamily roofing, Fidus delivers expert shingle roof solutions, metal roof installation, and quality paver work built to handle Florida's toughest weather. As a GAF Master Elite contractor, their work is backed by the top-tier materials and the trusted warranties. From emergency repairs to full roof replacements, Fidus gets it done right. Call 904-355-ROOF. That's 904-355-7663. Fidus Roofing, where trust is built from the top down. We're not doing trends today from the good Troy, but we got to tell you about the good Troy. And, of course, we're talking about St. Augustine Handy House.
Troy.
The good Troy. Troy, you've seen him.
I love that guy.
So, looking for a portable building that's built to last, St. Augustine Handy House, proudly owned by Troy Yacina Enterprise, has been serving St. Augustine since 1988. Featuring Handy House, America's #1 manufacturer in portable buildings, they offer everything from utility sheds and workshops to lofted barns, offices, and fully custom buildings, all designed for strength and long-term value. With over 70 structures in stock, plus free delivery, leveling and anchoring, and easy financing, St. Augustine Handy House makes adding space simple. That one's a tough one, Blake. Blake switched up the read on me, and dyslexic boy can't make changes.
That's fantastic. Quickly. You did a good job.
Adding space simple. Visit them on State Road 16 or give them a call at 904-823-9092. St. Augustine Handy House, where quality meets convenience and community matters. All right, we are back to the chairman. We got big week, St. Johns County Day. And the commission's made up of 5 individuals and 5 different personalities.
Yes.
It is much harder today, in my opinion, to sit where you're sitting. And I get it here also with the social media blast, and people around me let it bother them. When you just know somebody's out there just spewing lies or attacking, you're trying to do the best job you can. How do you stay focused on that and not get distracted or not get caught up in some of the back and forth?
Well, that's an indictment, because I for the last year or so, I've had my head down. One of the things one of the fun parts of the job is, I get 30, 40 emails a day from people who just don't know where to go with county services. They know who their county commissioner is. So they email me, they call me, and they have all these kinds of issues. And so I spend, a lot of my time answering emails and trying to connect people with the right services and to solve some of the issues that they bring to it. So I've really had my head down, and it's not, and key people I've blocked that are particularly vitriolic. Like some people still get through. So every now and then I'll see something and I'll respond to it, but I'm really trying to live. And one of the things I understand now, people came to me and they said, well, the sheriff doesn't even allow any comments on his social media page. And I know why.
Yeah.
I do. And so I'm not going there, but if someone's just not happy with the vote I took, I get it. I understand that. And one of the things I've learned is that, just like being an umpire, I was an umpire for literally for years, no matter what you call, somebody's going to be upset about the call. Yeah. And I respect that. I get it. I was in the stands, yelling too before I got out there and realized what it was all about. But what I'm just trying to do, I'm just trying to get the call right. People, I have to make decisions based on facts and not emotions. And that a lot of people don't understand that. And I'm okay with them not understanding that. When they say stuff that isn't true. Mm-hmm. And here again, some people are really good at just saying half the truth so that you appear to go one direction when that's not the truth at all. Mm-hmm. We've had some conversations on there about increasing the density in Res D, and we increased it from 13 to 16, mm-hmm. and a lot of people, some people went crazy. Oh my God, now there's going to be 16 houses per acre all over the county, and I'm like, no, it's just Res D, and Res D is a very, very small part of the county,
and that's a fairly standard number per acre throughout the country and throughout the state.
But there was a specific reason why they requested to increase it. Mm-hmm. Why would you just increase it by 3 from 13 to 16? Yeah. And it's because there were specific lots that they were trying.
Because that's the standard. The standard is actually 16.
Yeah. So just, little things like that, people can point at and say, look, you're increasing density. And I'm like, well, but there was a specific reason for that. And it's only in a specific area. It's a very, very small amount. It's primarily in West Augustine. And so, it's easy to say, well, you should never increase density. You should never allow a home to be built in St. Johns County. We're full, nobody else. But that puts us, here comes the reality. Me, Clay Murphy, I would love to put a gate and say nobody, mm-hmm. We're full. But the reality of that is that before I came here, before I got a chance to vote on some of the policies, the county bonded $120 million for these very needed parks and fire stations and sheriff's substations and libraries. But those are going to be paid back with impact fees mm-hmm. from new buildings. And if we stop all the new buildings, then we won't be able to pay our bills. So we have to find a balance. We've slowed the growth. People say, well, you ran on a campaign of slowing the growth. I'm like, well, in 2025, we probably had the ability to approve over 7,000 new homes in St. Johns County, mm-hmm. over 7,000. We could have voted 4. And yet 6,700 were either voted down or they decided to withdraw their application because of conversations. They knew what the vote was going to be. Instead of wasting their time and their money coming before the county, they didn't. So when you approve, 550 and you disapprove almost 7,000, if that's not slowing the growth, I don't know what people really want. Well, I don't think you can please anybody. I think they're complaining from an emotional position because the traffic is frustrating. It is frustrating. Mm-hmm. I've lived here in Northeast Florida over 50 years, and when you've lived here as long as I have, then I'll understand your position. But if you've moved here 5 years ago and you're complaining about traffic,
and I don't think people fully understand property.
My
rights.
wife's kicking me under the table right now saying don't say it, so
yeah,
so I won't.
Don't say it. I'm saving you from that.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm saving you from
thank
that.
You, honey, for kicking me under the table.
And I think she kicked me saying stop him. But people don't understand property rights in a lot of these situations. By the time it gets to you, the cake's already baked, and if you stop, then you end up costing us more. And it ends up, because it goes to court, it goes to mediation, and it costs the county money to do those things.
And we're doing those with all those properties that we voted down. We're actually being sued by all of them.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to deal. I'm okay with that.
You're going to lose some of those.
No, but I'm okay with people suing us.
Yeah.
But because we voted things down, because those were not good projects. Mm-hmm. And that's been my contention from the beginning. If it's a good project, if it's good for the county, yeah, I'll go for it. But if it's not, I won't.
Yeah.
And I think I've proven that.
Yeah. So we got to wrap up here in a little bit because I have to go over to a TDC workshop at 9:00.
I've got an 8:45, a 9, a 9:30, and
Yep. So
my day's just.
and I got to let you go do your duty as a chairman. What are some of the things we really need to keep an eye out for, and how can an everyday citizen help the process of what's going on at St. Johns County's Day?
Well, that's a great question. St. Johns County Day is for St. Johns County, for people that can load up and come to Tallahassee for the day. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be great food, going to be entertainment. You might even see an alligator there. You might see an alligator.
Might be a slow-moving one.
Might be a slow-moving alligator. It's kind of cool. But this is where we get to to touch the leaders in the state, where we get in front of them and say, look, this is a concern to me. I have to do that too. I have to go before them and say, this is a concern for my county. It's not just a concern for my county. It's a concern for me. Look, I got kids and grandkids that were born and raised here in St. Johns County. And it's important to me that they have a future. And so, that's one of the things I'm doing. I have to do it within the law. I mean, there's specific laws that we have to be careful about. I would love to be able to be a rebel. I'm a rebel, and I'm going to fight everybody. But you can't get anything done that way.
Yeah. You end up losing in the back.
You end up losing.
You're at the back of the line and get nothing for your county.
Yeah.
So,
real quick, I do have a commissioner for so have you heard from St. Johns County constituents about asking you to talk to the legislature and then possibly the governor's office to talk about the another possible repeal of Florida's free kill law? Has that been brought up to your concern as well?
I haven't heard a lot about the free kill law.
That's on the state side more than the county side. So
But if there's something I can do, as a matter of fact, I'll go research that.
Yeah.
And see.
Yeah. The free kill law is if you're over 25 years old and not married and don't have children, then there's no repercussion if there's no malpractice.
Oh.
Like Blake just turned 25. So now if something happens to him in a medical situation, I won't be able to research and find out exactly what happened to him because he's 25 already.
Right.
And I won't be able to sue them for anything, that happens.
Negligence.
Yeah. So it's called the free kill law, and it's only in the state of Florida. It's been around since 1990. We're trying to make it go away.
I would love to see that go away.
Yeah,
I got to research it though. I promise. I promise to do my homework on it.
Yeah, do research because Tom Leake is one of the key senators to help us get that to go away.
Yeah,
it came in under Martinez.
Tom's going to be I think he's going to be a real advocate for the county over his next 7 years.
Yeah, no, I hope he continues. I've had great conversations with him.
Yeah.
He's been very helpful with the Veterans Village, and thank you. And when you see the commission, tell them thank you for your vote.
I'll see him tomorrow.
Continue support of Veterans Village. It truly is appreciated and very much needed.
Yeah.
So anything that we've left out that we need to get to?
There is a list of things that we left out. I'll just have to come back.
Yeah. So you're welcome back, and all the commissioners are welcome here.
Yeah.
I think we have Commissioner Ann Taylor coming in next month.
Good.
We'll get Commissioner Whitehurst and Commissioner Joseph in here. So everybody is welcome in the 904 because we want to hear all the voices.
Yeah.
So thank you. We got to pay a couple more bills. And Blake, what are you going to do to check the comments, sir?
All right. On this Moon's Day, I will meander through the myriad of Minions comments. Thank you, Bobby, for that comment.
All right. While you're moonsing through that, I got to tell you about the wonderful people at B&S Signs. For over 50 years, family-owned B&S Signs has been the trusted name in signage across St. Augustine and surrounding area. From vinyl lettering to large pylon signs, B&S does it all, backed by fast installation, expert crane service, and reliable repair and maintenance to keep signs looking their best. Named Business of the Year in 2025 by the 904 Now, B&S Signs is known for quality craftsmanship and top-level service. Make a lasting impression with B&S Signs visit bnssigns.com, because when it comes to signs, they do it all. Blake, what you got, buddy?
All right. So real quick. So for a gas report, we have BP on US 1 at 275, Wawa on US 1 at 277, Speedway at 277. Nick won first comment today. Congratulations. Happy birthday, Barbara Jean. Unfortunately, Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadows to 6 more weeks of winter.
You're just stealing my Stodem stat, so hush your pie hole.
I'm sorry. All right, but Joy listed a bunch of national days today, but most popular ones include Groundhog Day, Brown Dog Day, and Tater Tot Day. And for question of the day, a pink Rambler in the 1950s for Betty, a Ford Escort for Barbara
Blake,
Jean.
I got to wrap it up, man.
Okay, let's go. Storm stat.
All right. That was a very extended check of the comments. All right. Stodem stat 1886. Punxsutawney Phil he did see his shadow today. So, but the good news is that means 6 weeks of more weather. But the good news is he's wrong. He's only correct 39% of the time. So he's wrong more than he is right. So we got that to look forward to. So just like my weather report, take it, do it the opposite. Punxsutawney Phil. And that is brought to us by Stodem Stats, brought to us by Sonny's Barbecue. Craving real Southern barbecue. Sonny's Barbecue, located at 2720 State Road 16 in St. Augustine, serves up slow smoked favorites made to satisfy. Starting with the crowd pleasers like barbecue, pork egg rolls, smoked wings, and crispy corn nuggets. Then dig into the tender baby back ribs, or try one of the Pitmaster's picks with all the classic sides, including famous garlic bread, their famous garlic bread. And no visit is complete without Sonny's signature sweet tea. Sonny's Barbecue, local Pitmaster since 1968. Blake, what plugs you got, buddy?
If you want to help support the 904now, you can always contact me at blake904now@gmail.com.
All right, guys, make sure you're following us on Facebook, Instagram. We actually need some help on our YouTube. If you're not following us there, please jump on the YouTube and follow us there. We got Bollock this evening, and we will see you later. I got to get to that meeting. Bye-bye.